In June and September 2020, I met 4 8th grade students in primary school at daycare centers for children at risk. These are 4 completely different life stories, which are connected by something in common. By the end of my speech, you will catch the red thread that connects them. Marco is a tall boy with big brown eyes, a gentle face, but hands full of various scars. Marco lives in a family with his father and mother who quarrel every day. The father is an alcoholic and drinks alcohol every day. The mother tries to keep peace in the house, but she fails. Physical violence is an integral part of Marco's and his mother's lives. Marco's great wish is to sleep peacefully one night, to hang out with his peers, and to rejoice in his first loves. Instead, he lives daily with the feelings of anxiety, guilt, but also anger. He is afraid of his every reaction in a house when his father is present, because most of his reactions lead to father's violence. He feels guilty when his father beats his mother for something he does. Anger overwhelms him because he's powerless to oppose him. Marco's first neighbor is Milan. Milan lives in a wonderful family, in a loving family, but Milan's family is very poor. My father works all day, says Milan. The mother fights for her children to have everything they need for life. Sometimes she is unable to provide them with 3 meals. Then Milan has to go to public kitchen for help. Milan has a desire to be a professor of physics, to teach other children this wonderful science. He often does not manage to study because he has to help his mother. His grades are not very good because of that. Sofia lives with her mother. She never met her father. The mother is constantly out of the house, so Sofia is forced to take care of herself for most of the day. It's hard for her. She spends time on social media. There, she meets various people and communicates with them. In the evening, when she goes to bed, she often falls asleep in tears, because Sofia's greatest wish is to have her family, mother and father. Milica lives with her mother, and her father is abroad. She misses him a lot. She and her mother often do not understand each other very well, and her mother often punishes her by locking her in a room, taking her phone and letting her out. Milica often spends time in her room alone. She started hanging out with children who smoke and drink alcohol. A fight broke out at the school. Marco was immediately found guilty and the teacher sent him to the principal. Marco tries to explain what happened, but no one listens. His words echo through the office, but to no avail. At the same time, Sofia is talking to the pedagogue. One of her friends reported her having come across Sofia's nude photos. The pedagogue gives her a lecture on how dangerous it is, how dangerous people like pedophiles exist on social networks, but at no point does she want to hear Sofia's side of the story. And while Sofia and Marco sit and listen to what others have to say to them, Milan is fighting for his place in the group of physics section. Namely, he wants to go to that section, but his teacher thinks he cannot because he has a poor grade in that subject. Milan tries to point out to him that physics is his greatest love, but the teacher doesn't hear him. The answer is no. Grief overwhelms him and he begins to cry. Laying and almost unconscious in one corner of the school toilet, Milica struggled with her grief using alcohol. Thoughts about the meaning of life ran through her head. An hour ago, she had a big quarrel with her friend, and on that occasion she hit her hard and insulted her. She has a recipe for sadness and anger. A cleaning lady enters the toilet and starts yelling at her and throws her out of the toilet. Milica struggles to say something. Again, nobody listens to her either. Think about it. How do you feel right now? What thoughts go through your head? Did you catch that red thread that connects these friends of mine? Yeah, that's it. Nobody hears them. Nobody listens to them. Unlike these children I told you about, I grew up in a well-situated and loving family. I always have everything I wanted and needed. My parents respected my interests, so I started practicing table tennis. My coach recognized my talent, and the training becomes both very serious and very frequent. In summer and winter, I trained 3 times a day. However, I didn't have time to play with my friends, so I was sad because of that. I was obsessed with thinking that I would be left alone and not have friends. One summer, 10-year-old Ivana decided to stop playing this sport. Hanging out with friends at the time I found more important. I completely forgot how much I loved table tennis. Oh, I will never forget my conversation with my mother when I told her that. She knew where the problem lay and didn't talk to me about my talent for the sport, just said the following. Okay, then for the summer break, you will read all the books you have to read for literature classes in the 5th grade. After that sentence, I picked up my stuff for training and continued to enjoy this sport and achieve success for the next 15 years. And yes, I was not alone. I had a lot of friends. Many times in my life, the support I had in both my parents and other adults helped me a lot in developing my self-confidence and self-image. They listened to me, and that's what these kids need. My 4 friends are 4 very brave children who put their lives to the test very early. Through talking to them, I learned a lot, and I would like you to learn something about violence from their perspective and from the perspective of children from unheard and forgotten group. For them, violence is a way to stand out, to be seen, a way to dominate and be listened to, because they often have to listen to others. According to them, both boys and girls are very often victims of physical, verbal, and social violence. Girls are still victims of sexual violence. They do not trust their teachers as much as they trust their peers. Because they are users of daycare centers, they are labeled in their schools and often have the feeling that only they are being looked at. They feel that they do not have enough opportunities to develop their interests because their school success is not excellent. They are aware that sometimes they attract the attention of others with their violent behavior, but they say that sometimes they do not know otherwise. They would like to be heard without prejudice. They would love to hear their side of story. They would like to be understood and helped. However, they point out that it seems to them that they do not get this at school. This is why they are especially grateful for the daycare centers and professionals who work with them. These are places where they have right to vote, where they are empowered, and where they are given the opportunity. Let's think a little how many children like this are among us. children who need help and support, children who need understanding and not labeling. Those children are no different than any other child, and they have the same needs, only sometimes they are harder to hear and understand. The more we listen to them and try to understand them, the more they will get the chance to be happier and make their dreams come true. How great it would be if my 4 friends could realize their dreams.